Hello, everyone. Welcome to the overnight hours. We're doing Rem Alternus After Dark, which is my dream and yours, and the continued adventures of the Rem Alternus Streamathon. Thank you for joining us in this overnight celebration of the second anniversary of our community, the friends that value us, our diversity, our mental health, and our sense of adventure, while allowing us to do the things we love, such as me dressing up as Zordon, including with nails, um, to play in the Power Rangers universe using Renegade Studios' Power Rangers TTRPG system. This is the same folks that bring you the Power Rangers board game that has a really cool round board, and be bringing you the Becoming Mighty and Morphin podcast season that will be found in Alternia archives come the new year. So in 2023, look out for that. I'm John McDonald, and on Sunday nights, which is going to be later tonight, believe it or not, to end the streamathon, I will be playing Panabon, the genderqueer, jewel-eyebrowed relocation specialist and performance artist of Like Clockwork fame, who may or may not have just got done stabbing someone in the back, possibly literally. You've also heard my beautiful voice in the Alternia Archives podcast, and Brutal Wrestling, and Saints and Sinners, and in the upcoming four-parter Twas series for Christmas Official itself in December. Today, I am the Game Master, aka the Zordon, and not just because of the makeup, but because I'm also a Zordon for the podcast coming to the Alternia Archives. And before I let the players introduce themselves, actually, because the giveaway prize is a Plague Tale Innocence, and I don't know much about it. Izabitsky, you kind of recommended this, right? So what do you want the people to know about a Plague Tale Innocence, which is our giveaway code prize?
It is I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. It is an RPG where you are in France. I want to say it's France, but it's really late and it's been a minute since I've played the game. I think it's France. Oh, you're the daughter of this noblewoman, and this plague comes to your village, and it's a story about uh, this older daughter who loses her family and is trying to keep herself and her brother safe. It is a beautifully told story. It is if you like just a really good RPG, it's an amazing game. It's not a lot of like combat; it's more story driven. But it's a beautifully told game,
It
beautifully told story.
sounds very Edgar Allan Poe, very appropriate for the upcoming spooky holiday season. And if you want to win the game code for a Plague Tale Innocence, you can win by using our fabulous REM chat system here. If you use the hashtag REMPC, you'll get one entry. If you give us 100 bits, you get one entry. If you subscribe to the channel, you get seven. And if you give to the GoFundMe, like you've probably been doing all day, you can get an entry per dollar given. But don't forget your Twitch handle, otherwise we won't know who to give the credit to. And I'm sure that link is going in the chat as we speak, because I don't actually know how to do that. Shout out to our fabulous tech Teslin, who's keeping us going, as all of our techs are, and it's something that we could not do without them, and I'm being very serious about that, because they are angels in our midst. Speaking of angels in our midst, I'd love for the Rangers to introduce themselves. There are familiar faces at the table, but I would love for you to give your name, what you do at REM or elsewhere, what your character's name is, and what your character has always wanted for the winter holiday of their choice, because there's more than Christmas. But we're calling it Christmas Bells Are Ringing, but if your favorite holiday is Diwali at Christmas time, I'm not going to tell you now. Isabits, welcome back. Are you playing Jane again for us tonight in the overnight hours?
I am playing Jane. I am Isabeth or Elizabeth here at REM. I all of the wonderful shows that you see on Twitch, I edit them and upload them to our YouTube. I just spaced. It's getting late, so my brain is starting to slow down. So I'm sorry. I also play Drusilla on Like Clockwork every Sunday night at 7 Central.
Who has a misplaced enjoyment of Panabon? We'll see how long that lasts.
Panabon is Drew's favorite.
That makes me so happy.
And I'm playing Jane Russell tonight in our Power Ranger one shot. And if we're talking items, Jane really wants her own pottery wheel. If we're talking her like Christmas wish, the one thing that she would want is her mom to be home for Christmas.
Oh. See, that's how you won that student prize in the podcast stream. Tugging on the old heartstrings.
Yeah.
So, Jester, welcome back. Are you playing Eddie Thatch again for us this evening?
I am, because I'm not creative enough to be able to pull up another character that fast. So my name is Patrick Bryant. I go by Jester. I primarily do stuff with Dragon Unicorns games, and I've recently been doing just a little bit with Realm Alternus, participating in a few games here and there, primarily with Panbon here in the Power Ranger universe stuff. That's been quite a lot of fun, and as well as some other things. I'm not too certain where they're at in their development, so I don't want to mention them just yet. I play Eddie Thatch, as was mentioned earlier. I do apologize, I'm a little short on sleep and probably low on power. Regarding a Christmas gift or a wish that Eddie would have, he's kind of gotten to a collection of ugly sweaters. So this year he's just hoping to be able to get the ugliest one yet.
Ooh. Challenge accepted. Unrelated, if you could send me Eddie's like address so I could send them something to Angel Grove. It's not an ugly sweater in any way, shape, or form. Just teasing. Leah, welcome back. You couldn't get enough of us the first time, I see.
You know, 3 a.m. just sounded like the time to do another one shot. Why not?
Yeah. Welcome to the Realm Alternus family. You're here forever.
It's fine. I was just sending a message over. I was like, apparently when Rem calls, I answer. This is apparently what I do. I have been doing for like 6 months now. So yeah, my name is Katie Kirby. I am new to Rem in a kind of way. And I do primarily stream on Twitch with the Squirrels of Darkness as Sylvie the Gangrel in the San Antonio by Night Vampire the Masquerade stream on Fridays at 8:30. So that's what I do mostly on Twitch, but apparently occasionally this. And I'm here.
So Leia is a new character, so even if it's something like Snoopy snow cone maker from your childhood, what kind of like thing has Leia always kind of wanted to find under their holiday tree?
Let's see. Honestly, she has always really, really wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con. So finding like VIP passes to Comic-Con would be like the best thing ever.
That would certainly jingle a few bells that I can think of.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not actually Christmas Eve. You're not going to find gifts from Santa underneath your tree this evening. In fact, it's not even winter. It's not even autumn, really. But you wouldn't know that in some stores. It's not even in Angel Grove. We're going to start focused in Angel Grove. So we're going to start with Eddie and Jane. In some department stores in Angel Grove, and Eddie and Jane, you are walking together doing some shopping. You kind of start to notice there are stores that already have a field of Christmas trees on display for sale. But they've gotten really unique and creative. They've got some that are decorated with little patriotic flags, some with tiny candy corn shaped lights. There's even one with like seashells that they spray painted blue. anything to really cash on the biggest retail holiday of the year. So, Jane and Eddy, I want you to think of how you would handle walking through this forest of non-seasonal Christmas trees, while everyone listens into Rita's personal outermost thoughts from high up in her palace on the moon. And I will attempt to do the voices, though I will remind the audience that it is 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I make no promises. Insta, Goldar, did you come back with my shopping? My queen, we couldn't find what you were looking for. Oh, I feel a headache coming on. Did you really even try? And the conversation continues. They were looking for Oreos for Rita, and they could not find any of the chocolate sandwich cookies that she requested. There was no aisle for them, only an aisle for Christmas lights, is what Goldar says. And Rita responds, Christmas lights? Christmas lights? Why, that do goody holiday has been a thorn in my side for far too long. In fact, all those winter holidays have been the bane of my existence. Goodwill, hope, cheer, neighborly love. I know, I'm going to put a stop to it all. And Rita goes to her telescope that looks down on Earth. And Rangers, we are going to come back. Eddy, Jane, you are walking through a department store full of non-seasonal, non-Christmas Christmas trees. Everyone seems to be kind of ignoring this aisle, except for the two of you. How are you feeling in this forest of odd fake trees? Because they're all fake trees. They're not real. They're all made of.
I kind of just have like a bit of like a sweet tooth craving, but I can't seem to find the Oreos.
It's true.
I am enjoying looking at all of the differently decorated trees. I find it some of them amusing, some of them are kind of cute. So I'm rather enjoying looking through all of them.
Is there a particular tree that has caught your eye?
There's a tree that has the tree with the seashells and stuff on it, because it reminds me of all of us becoming friends and all like our bonfires at the beach, and it kind of makes me nostalgic for all of that.
That's nice. It almost makes me hate to say roll initiative, Jane and Eddy, but I'm going to say roll initiative anyways.
Is
That
the
was
initiative button
that
gonna
was
work?
so nice. What was your question?
Is the initiative button gonna work?
That's not a question that I can answer for you at all.
No, it did
That
not.
is outside the power of Zordon.
That is outside of Zordon's power. Somehow Roll20 is just more powerful. So you
The
got
initiative button hates me. Oh, I got a 20. Man, that means I have to go first.
I'm gonna need you to re-roll, Eddy, because you got the same as the trees. I'm just gonna have you
Just
re-roll.
as fast as a fir tree, pine tree, whatever.
Fir tree. It's not a pine tree. There's nothing pine about it. It's about the farthest thing from pine as you can get. Okay, I'll re-roll because I don't
Roll 12 twice.
All right, I got a 16 for the trees. So, Jane, about a moment before the trees start coming to life, you definitely see the tree kind of shiver, and it has a very Wizard of Oz vibe, except there are seashells on it and not apples. So, yeah, this tree is coming to life, and it's not happy.
How many people would you say are around us right now? Are we like the only two here?
You're the only one in this very wide Christmas tree aisle. Everyone else has kind of avoided looking at it, so there are people milling about. But suffice it to say, by the next round of combat, the trees will be alive and they will be running because people of Angel Grove have a lot of patience, but that might even be beyond the sphere of patience.
Okay. How close am I to this seashell tree?
Close enough that it's probably going to smack you in the face on its turn. And because the aisles, I did some research about the width of the aisles, but I cannot remember the number I wrote down. But basically, you and Eddie can walk next to each other, but it's a regular like aisle. So
Okay. Um, I, it's summer. Jane's been taking some boxing classes at the juice bar. She's gonna try to punch him.
did you take those classes at the juice bar in Stone Canyon and the regular juice bar when you got back too?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can totally go ahead and punch. That is gonna be might because that is a blunt weapon because your fist is a blunt weapon.
Um,
World.
so when I punch, is it just like a straight one punch, or do I get like a jab and a cross?
It's a one punch.
Okay.
They don't really give a mechanic for that in the book. I think that would be a complicated thing, but
Rolled a 19.
so yeah, you got 19, which would be great if the tree was actually alive. So you punch it, but it's a not made of any material that is organic to Earth, and so like the needles fall off and you expose the wiring inside. It does not seem phased.
Preemptive strike.
Preemptive strike. Are you declaring preemptive strike?
No, I'm saying that's what she would do. It's tactics.
Yeah. So it's the tree's turn. Jane, what's your evasion?
13.
Okay, it's gonna miss you, but you definitely just had a seashell hucked at you from this kind of tree that's coming alive.
This is a rude tree.
Right?
It's about to get more rude. Eddie, what kind of tree are you nearby?
I was probably near like one of the later in the season ones, so one of the trees that you just forgot to ever take down, and it's wilting away, but at least it's got a period appropriate decoration. So, say like the 4th of July one.
Oh yeah, so the 4th of July tree is coming to life as well, and that's on the other side of you.
My is 13.
Oh, no, it's your turn. It can't.
Oh, it's my turn. Oh,
So
gotcha.
it is your turn. I'm just letting you know that on the other side of you, the patriotic flag tree is coming to life as well.
So coming to life in the same sense as the one that was next to James coming to life, as in if I attack it now, I do nothing other than embarrass myself, or coming to life as in it can take damage.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're embarrassing yourselves. I mean, Jane didn't know that it wasn't going to like do anything. There's no way to know until you attack it how it will respond.
All right. Well, in that case, I will.
Sorry, this was a lot of fun for me to plan, so I'm so excited to unleash this on the world. So this
I
is as
will
much fun as the Pudgy Pig episode for me.
reach into the tree and pull off some of the decorations in a very aggressive fashion.
All right, for the aggressive fashion, give me. I'm going to say this is a grapple because there are lots of
That'd be under might.
and pointy on the tree. So give me a might roll, please.
19.
Great. So you strip the tree down to kind of half of the wire underneath it. Now it just looks like a big metal snake, and I'm not sure that's any better because half of it looks like a tree, half of it looks like a metal snake. Let's do one more round of combat. Jane, you didn't narrowly avoid, but definitely seashells are not something you want pointed at you. And the longer you're in this aisle, the more trees seem to be kind of waking up and they are not happy.
I do have to tell you, my husband, who was watching from the other room, sent me a message and said, "The trees are alive with the sound of murder."
There is one particular sad Charlie Brown tree that has a little pumpkin dangling off of it that's
Oh.
black. That is like swinging its pumpkin back and forth at the end of the aisle as if it's waiting for you. So you can let your husband know there's a Charlie Brown Halloween tree in the mix here.
Fantastic. Punching it didn't do anything. I kind of want to kick it out of the way, like just kick it away.
Okay, just so you're aware, it is a tree that is tied down to a shelf, so you are welcome to kick it, but there are wires on the bottom that are keeping it planted where it is.
Okay. Are there still seashells on the tree?
Half of them have fallen off in an attempt to pelt you with them, but half of them are still there. The higher up you go, the more stuff is still there.
So, okay, instead of kicking the tree, I want to like
It's great, isn't it? It's so good. You're having such a good time.
I want to like grab it and shake it really hard to try to shake all the seashells off.
All right, let's go with another grapple for this. Please give me a my roll to shake
Oh my god.
non-seasonal seashell themed Christmas tree.
Oh dear, I got a 9.
Yeah, so you know how those ornaments were on the tree?
Yeah.
You know how seashells are kind of pointy?
Mm-hmm.
You know how you're not morphed right now?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to take a point of health damage, but like you definitely just pelted yourself with like 6 seashells, and one of them had like a spider inside of it. So now you got like a spider on your head. And also, I need you to make me a might roll because while you were trying to shake the tree, it decided to hug you a little bit. So much like a snake coiling around a victim, it is. Give me that might roll, and we'll see how successful it is in grappling you.
So it's more like a snake and not like it decided it wants to be friends and it's giving me a loving hug.
Oh, it's not a loving hug. It doesn't
Okay.
want to be friends.
18.
Your 18 is going to beat whatever roll it would do. So it's trying to grapple you, but it does not understand, as it is a non-sentient tree, that it is bolted essentially to this shelf, which the good people of the department store did not want people running off with their Christmas trees. So thankfully they are bolted. And Eddie, it is your turn.
So the American Christmas tree that I removed as a decoration now just looks like a metal snake. So under all of that fanfare, it's just seems like a bit of a political statement there.
Half a metal snake. The top half is still patriotic in nature, though country flag of choice. Because we don't know what state Angel Grove is in. I'm just making it America. But whatever state you think Angel Grove is in, it has some state flags as well. Take for that what you will.
Given the, I'll make an alertness roll on this view, deem it necessary, but I'm thinking that Eddie is noticing that after removing the decorations and everything, is noticing that these trees are all tied down to where they are. And with that thought, I'm going to go down the aisle and try to either get Jane's attention or like grab her by the hand or whatever, and kind of like start moving myself and her out of the tree aisle.
I am gonna say, give me a survival roll for this because this is kind of like hunting cartography. So give me that survival roll in smarts, and we'll see how you do.
I got really lucky. I rolled a 22.
You
Nice.
did. You're even more lucky because as you attempt to get you and Jane out of there, you feel a very familiar tingly sensation. And as the pendulum of the glass pumpkin atop the Charlie Brown Halloween Christmas tree swings your way, you are both teleported to the command center. And I know Zordon is very tempting, but Alpha is currently having a little bit of a conniption fit, and you hear as you land, "Christmas trees! Zordon, I love Christmas trees!" And Zordon says, "You must remain calm, Alpha. Are you all right, Rangers?"
Yeah, thank you. You just prevented us from getting great pumpkins right at the last minute there.
I know I prevent many a great calamity as possible, but I'm afraid there are more calamities to come.
What's going on?
One can only guess. Rita hates all goodness rangers, and I'm afraid this time Rita may have taken it too far. And as much as Zordon can nod toward the viewing globe, it's really hard to avoid the sounds of screaming. And you turn to the viewing globe, and there is like this montage of things happening all at once. There is a window display that has come to life, and people are running away from it, glass at their feet. There's a picture of red buckets flinging themselves out of a warehouse, and a truck with a whole bunch of cacophonous bells like turned over on the highway. And there is a Mrs. Claus figure in a costume shop that has just kind of burst into flames, which is a lot to take in. And so, Leah, this is happening in Stone Canyon as well. This is not Angel Grove specific. I'm not going to have you roll anything, but I want you to be prepared because in a few moments you are going to come and be part of the merriment because Zordon is studying them, and Zordon asks, Rangers, will you make and I'll just do this, will you make a culture roll for me? And culture is about grid lore.
That's both of us.
Yeah, please make a culture roll for me.
That's not me.
Not
you
you,
got a
Leia.
12.
Not yet.
Got an
You
11.
get
I think so.
special
I don't want to make
introduction.
sure.
Give me a second. All right. How did you do? So we got a 12 and we got an 11, right? So, Eddie, you get this half a second before Jane does. Wherever things are happening, Rita or a henchman does not seem to be too far behind, including the one that Brick told you about, which is definitely a cross between a baboon and a spider, and you are very glad you did not meet in the Shadow Zone as Brick did.
Sounds
And
terrifying.
Zordon, what is it?
That sounds terrifying.
It is terrifying. You should ask Rick about it sometime if they didn't give you the details. And as in so much as Zordon can look sad, Zordon thinks for a minute and said, "This may be beyond even my current morphing grid technology. I fear this is just the beginning. Alpha, we must put out a beacon for fellow Rangers to join if they can. The power of you two alone will not be enough for this, and your fellow Rangers are indisposed. So you must not fight this alone. As I think for a moment on what can be done, Alpha will put out a beacon to see what Rangers may answer the call." And Alpha does something fiddly on a couple of the consoles that you've come to know and love that beep and have little doodads that just seem to do whatever they do.
I like the one that boops.
What was that?
So I like the one that boops.
It's
Not the ones
true.
that beep. The ones that boop.
The one that beeps and boops is great, and there is eventually a teleportation in of Yellow. And Leah, you've never been to the command center before. You do vaguely recall because you've been a ranger for a little bit now, doing stuff in Stone Canyon with Ace and Philip at least, and maybe one other ranger if things have gotten kind of hairy and you need more help. But you've never met Zordon. And give me an acrobatics check because this is the first time you're being teleported, and every time is the first time you teleport. We have to see how you land.
Yeah.
Yellow Rangers haven't had a good time with this, as Quentin will attest to on our regular stream.
I believe in you.
Your acrobatics. Let's see if you do better than Quentin has done in the past.
We shall see. Oh gosh. I mean,
Nice.
20 is pretty good.
Yeah, you land impressively. You have a lot of martial arts training, and you tend to do a core from lower in your body. So like, it was a bit much, but the longer you were in teleportation range, the more you're like, okay, I'm flying. It's whatever it is. I will land somewhere eventually. Um, it's no weirder than having yellow power armor, right?
Sure.
So you land in the command center. Do you have knowledge of 90s Power Rangers? So when I say command center, you kind of know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so you land there. And however you would respond to landing there, please respond so.
So she kind of just like takes a second. I'm assuming she's not morphed right now. She's just herself.
That is up to you.
I think I wouldn't be morphed yet. I think I would just be just in my regular street clothes. And like the first thing that catches her attention is the disembodied head of Zordon, because it's bright and shiny. And she's just like, okay, somehow this is still not the weirdest thing that's happened to me this year.
Welcome, Leah Mackenzie. It is a pleasure to meet you in person.
How do you? Oh, hey guys.
What's up, Pooh Bear?
Yeah, about that nickname.
You're one of the Stone Canyon. Alpha 5 approaches you with no sense of personal boundaries or space. And it's like, you're the Yellowstone Canyon Ranger. We've heard so much about you.
I wish someone had told me about this place. Or is that another one of those tenants that?
I did mention the fish tank, bro. That's sort of.
Oh, the fish tank guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you
I do
didn't.
not live in a fish tank. Please stop telling other rangers that I live in a fish tank.
Now I got.
Okay, so what? I'm assuming nothing good is happening if I'm here. Just a guess. So what's going on, guys?
Have you noticed any problems in Stone Canyon, Miss Mackenzie?
Some Christmas displays have been messed with and vandalized. I just assumed they were like, teenagers, younger teenagers.
It's actually kind of the other way around as far as what's doing the vandalization, it seems. Jane and I just got out of the bunch of trees.
Okay, that sentence was all English, I think, but the words didn't make sense in that order.
Is she throwing stuff?
If you would direct your attention to the viewing globe, Miss Mackenzie, you can see the kind of damage that Rita Repulsa is currently doing to Angel Grove, which is likely being replicated elsewhere that her evil has touched.
Now, would Leah know who she is? Would she be aware? Has Rita had anything to do with Stone Canyon yet?
Rita hasn't been to Stone Canyon, but like Rita was mentioned with the candle, with the notes.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
On how much was explained to you.
Yeah,
it's
the
really
name
all
was
how
dropped
much
as
Jane
far
and
as
Eddie
one.
informed you of who
It's been
Rita
6 months since 3 p.m. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, no. Okay. So she's gonna stare at the viewing globe and watch what's going on.
I need everyone to give me, what role did I want for this? I wrote this down. I did not write that down. Give me a persuasion roll, especially if you have a specialization in truth. But even if you don't, everyone give me a persuasion roll.
Oh, that's not nearly as good as I was hoping for, but 13.
I mean, 13 is pretty good, though.
Eddie got an 18.
Eddie got an 18. Persuasion is under social. So
it's just okay. I'm sorry. The pop-up was under the thing.
Become pop under.
14. It was a pop under. Yeah,
Yeah.
not a pop over. It's not quite tasty
Popovers
enough.
are delicious.
They're quite tasty.
So, Eddie, you're going to hear most of this. You're only Jane and Leah. You're only going to hear Rita's response, just based on kind of how intently you were listening. Eddie, you hear Goldar say, "Where are we going, my queen?" And everyone hears Rita say, "To the North Pole, of course." And then Rita does her high peeling cackle as she and Goldar blink out of existence. And as Rita leaves, everything that came to life stops being alive. But then you hear the phrase from Zordon, "So that is her game, to destroy the Santa gem at the North Pole." And he
Wait.
says that as though that's a very common thing to say, as Zordon often does.
Okay, we just got attacked by animated trees. We fight clay dudes and teleport around. Like, there's a bunch of weird stuff that happens, but are you telling me that Santa's real?
That's
Miss-
what you're concerned about?
That's kind of a life-changing thing to know.
Okay.
Well, how are you not concerned with that?
So,
I'm confused.
Mr. Thatch, the things that you fight that are putties have mystical properties to them. They are not just the clay born of the earth. There is more going on than you can imagine. And yes, there is a Santa Claus, though it has always been known more of as a title than as a necessarily a person that is a gift giver. The title of Santa Claus that has been passed down since the earliest of winter holiday times. The first to wear the title of Santa and receive what was then called the Gem of Goodwill was the Bishop St. Nicholas. It was a gift given to him as the only one willing to stand with Galileo at Galileo's trial. It is a gift for courage that brings out the best in whoever so controls the gem, but in the wrong hands it has the capability for great evil and sorrow. The Santa Claus you know is a projector of the gem and of the goodwill of the people which believe, and that belief is at its highest during the winter solstice, normally. I fear, though, now I must send you rangers to the North Pole, and you must make your way to the Claus mansion. Beware of Rita's tricks and her minions on the way, but the power will protect you with wisdom and honor.
And warmth, I hope.
Your power armor is capable of dealing with the cold of the North Pole. Yes, Alpha chimes in. I did it myself, so you know it works. Alpha says as he tilts a little bit to his right, with ungainly footing.
Zordon, I have a very important question to ask.
Oh, as always, Miss Russell, please ask your questions.
Is Santa a jolly man with a big white beard?
Santa is the title. The person that holds it, because it is the Gem of Goodwill, does tend to have joyous properties. Having someone that is non-joyful holding the Gem of Goodwill feels very counterintuitive, if I may say.
But nothing about a beard.
Sometimes they have beards. I don't check in on the Gem of Goodwill all the times. It's just kind of assume when things are going well that it's in balance. And currently things are not going well. And if Rita's headed to the North Pole, that's what she's headed there for, because that's the only thing that exists up there.
Other than a mansion and Santa and I'm assuming reindeer and elves and a toy shop and she lists off all the things that she's heard throughout the years as a child.
Many of that exists, yes, but it does not exist as you might anticipate that it does. The Santa Claus may have come into a period where they do want to make toys to send out to the children of the world, but it is hard to say what you will find when you get up there. The only sure thing is that the Aurora Borealis is there, because that helps reflect out the power of the gem. That is really the only surety I can give you on your journey.
Well, been on a lot of continents, but that's not one of them. So
Always wanted to see the Aurora Borealis. Yeah.
I apologize, Rangers. Alpha pipes in. There are no penguins on that pole. I've been told the only penguins are in South America. My apologies.
Oh.
I mean,
Zordon does inform you that you will want to morph before you go, because once you are there, you are there. And it is very cold if you are not morphed. So you will want to morph before you go if you are not currently.
okay,
Jane's going to go ahead and morph then.
same.
Okay.
Yep, Black Mastodon, go.
Okay, so we're going to go in order. Let's start with Jane and then Leah, and then we'll have Eddy go with all the enthusiasm you can muster, or I will make you roll to see how well that works. Because I know it's 3 a.m., but you're a ranger and you can do it. And I believe in you. So
Yes, because exactly what I want to do right now is shout out in the 3 a.m.
shout out, but quietly, just intense, but keep it inside, kind of thing.
I grab my coin and hold it out. Red T-Rex power. And then the swirly red shimmery mist, and then I'm in my...
Yeah, that's the stuff. Leah, go for it. What have you learned in your time? Do you have a special way you do it? Because all of the Stone Canyon Rangers have wrists instead of belt buckles. So do you have like a
Right.
special move that y'all do?
So she would go like this, cross in front of her, and then like bring them down and say, "Yellow bear, activate."
Fantastic. And Eddy Thatch, it is your turn.
Hold up the medallion of Black Mastodon power, and then the suit would kind of crawl over and cover my body.
Fabulous. Okay.
Energy.
Energy. It's so good. All right. So you are being teleported to the North Pole, and the last thing you hear is Alpha going, "Rangers, good luck," in Alpha's worried voice. And
I like the way he
as,
said it.
yes, as the Rangers are teleporting, a reminder that you could teleport yourself into a win by winning the game code for a Plague Tale Innocence at the end of this one shot. To enter to win over the course of this game, use the hashtag RemPC for one entry, give us 100 bits for one entry, or subscribe to the channel for 7 entries. If you give to the GoFundMe, which hopefully has been linked in the comments, you will get an entry per $1, but don't forget to put your Twitch handle in or we won't know who to give the entry to. Okay. Thank you. I try. I've tried so hard. My God, do I try. So you are teleported up to the North Pole, and as far as you can tell, it is definitely the North Pole. The ice up here is kind of striated. It's a pattern that kind of makes it look like a layer cake on its side. It's so white that it actually looks more blue and silver and reflective than white. You are teleported onto a path, but just based on how kind of clear and cold it is, it feels as if you're kind of walking on the sky.
I'm gonna bend down, like grab up some snow. And is that,
I swear, if you hit me with
or is
that,
it more powdery?
do not.
It's I'm actually going to have you roll I'm going to have you roll brawn for that, because you're basically trying to crunch ice into a ball. We're going to see if through a brawn roll how good you are at making a snowball out of ice, essentially.
Oh wait, 1 second here. I am morphed, so these go up a tick, but that doesn't.
They do go up because of your general perk, Supercharged Essence, which you applied to your strength.
Just do that so that it does the result. Do rolled a 14.
Yeah, it took you longer to do it than it should have. You do eventually make a ball of ice, but then you're just holding a ball of ice because you don't want to throw it at anybody.
Yeah, I know
And
this
there's
would
nothing to
just hurt.
bowl up here. It just kind of exists in your hand now.
Anyone else want to make angels? Like I got a real craving to start. Like I don't know.
I don't know about you, but I've only ever heard of snow angels, and that looks like ice. Don't really want to make ice angels right now.
Nah, it's a good point. Toss the ice ball aside. And that probably would hurt someone more than anything anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we want to get hurt before we start, kicking and punching.
Oh right, saving Christmas.
Yeah, that's the thing we're supposed to do.
It is beautiful here, though.
It's pretty, and I'm glad that I'm not cold because I don't like cold. I really hate cold weather.
Me too.
So someone can give me an awareness roll if they want to. You can just start following the path you're on. And we can go from there, or anyone that wants to know the area that they are in.
I am too focused on how pretty the scenery is to really notice what else is going on.
It is very pretty. But with that 8, I will let you know that anything you see, just because it's so clear on the ground, it just kind of looks like a double of the sky. It's actually very disconcerting because it's night here. Like, it's very much like it's just night. And for you, Leia, you're just so happy you're not cold that you're kind of distracted by the fact that you're not cold. It's kind of hard to enjoy. Eddy, with your 16 for alertness, were you looking for anything in specific, or is it just...
You mentioned the trail, so at this point, I'm really just kind of like looking for some sort of signs of civilization, where we'd be going.
So there is like a mountain in the distance, and the trail is kind of going that way. You kind of think. But more importantly, with that 16, I will give you that the further you walk on the trail, you are going to come across a gate.
Hey guys, there's a gate over here.
I was looking at the sparkly snow.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Head off in that direction.
You can continue to look at the scenery as you walk. It is about half a mile out, but with your power armor on, you're not tired. And if you didn't have your power arm, you would notice that it kind of smells like candy canes, but after a while, the scent is not as fun as it was. So you should be glad you have your power armor on for a variety of reasons. The gate that you approach is tall. Tall is the best word you could think for it. It's easily 30 feet tall. And it is locked. And the bars on it are wavy. So, like, where there'd normally be straight bars in succession, there are bars in succession, but they are wavy.
A knocker or any relatively obvious indication of make noise here?
Give me an alertness roll.
Yay, 16.
There is a call box on the side that you see the longer you stare at it.
Oh, a PA system. Okay. Beep.
Well, so you press the button and you're expecting a beep, but when you open the box, there is a sheet of parchment paper and a quill ink pen.
This is a weird looking stylus. Is there anything on the sheet of paper?
It's a quill. I like take it. Is there like an ink?
It is one of those quill pens. It's a magical quill pen, so you can tell it has the ink.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you roll because I know that's like one of your things you and Cecily bond over. So I'm not going to make her for that. Yeah, it doesn't need an ink pot.
Okay. I guess we write that we're here, or maybe like I don't know. I mean, this has ink in it. So
I mean, I don't know what else to do.
I look back inside the box. Is it just like a mailbox kind of thing? Was there like any like pneumatic tubes?
No pneumatic tubes.
Ask really nicely if they can open the gate.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the quill. Eddie, turn around.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the parchment on his back, and I'm gonna hello, Santa. The Rangers are here to help. Could you please open the gate? And then I'm gonna roll it up and put it back in the box and close the box.
I have a really important question, Jane. Is Santa a Power Ranger?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I don't.
Well, because I mean, he guards the gem, so I just kind of thought that he would know.
I don't know, because the gem wasn't given to him by Zordon, right? I mean, he said the gem was given to him by somebody way back in the day, and I don't know how old Zordon is. Like, I know he's just this disembodied head, but like, I don't think that he's quite that old.
No, you're right.
He's definitely well preserved.
Take it back out really quick.
Maybe it's like
put it in my pocket and write another one. Could someone up there please open the gate? We're here to see Santa.
There we go. I think that
then
might
put it back in and close it.
And you wait. And you wait. Nothing happens.
Is there something I can throw at the door?
You can use. You have a blade blaster.
Oh, I'm not going to shoot the.
I mean, you could try to make an ice ball on your own and throw it. Anything you throw is going to be done with the targeting. So anything you want to throw is going to do that. So like that's going to be the roll, anyways. So if you just are you aiming for the box, for the fence, for like?
Is there a little flag on the side of the box? Do we have to like?
There is no flag on the side of the box.
I'm just trying to figure out a way to get somebody's attention, because clearly, maybe it's that the mail gets picked up once a day. Like, maybe there's a male elf that comes along and picks up the once a day and delivers it to Santa. I don't know.
Are there any tiny elf-sized doors across this gate?
There are not, but there are tiny ornamental dots at the bottom of the gate. And Jane, because you are a musical artist, the longer you stare at them, the more you realize those are music notes.
Oh. Those dots, they're music. They're music notes. The bottom.
Notes.
At the bottom, you see them? Those are musical notes.
Yeah. I'm a theater person. I read music. I just didn't notice them.
Give me a performance roll, especially if you have musical or theater art in your background. But everyone give me a performance roll.
I'm going to use that great culinary arts I have to do nothing because I rolled a 6.
13.
With my incredibly low and no knowledge and no skill whatsoever, I rolled 21 because just sheer dumb luck.
Rude.
Yeah, you know why you rolled 21? Because this is one of the few iconic Christmas songs that is non-denominational and that you actually enjoy. It is the tune "Here Comes Santa Claus." And so if you can say the lyrics to or hum "Here Comes Santa Claus," the gate will open for you.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. Right down Santa Claus Lane.
As you say lane, the gates open up for you with a creak. They are almost wide as they are tall as they open. It has that very much Willy Wonka feel. And in the distance, you can kind of see there is a mountain, but the more you walk, the more you will realize that is a mansion and not a mountain.
Okay.
Nicely
How
done, Eddie.
far- Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you going to begin walking in? Or are you going to marvel at the gate for a little while?
No,
Sure.
I don't think
I'm
I have
gonna
time to
walk in.
marvel.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check if as you are walking in.
Yeah, you got a 15.
Got a 15,
No.
16.
a 16. Fabulous.
Oh, it rolled mine at a snag for some reason, but I got a 5.
You can roll it again so that you get the 2, so that you don't have that automatic disadvantage. By the way, I will let you know the reason that your magical paper airplane note didn't send up to the mansion was because you did not sign your name, so Santa didn't know who the note was from. So it would have just stayed in that box for a while. Your acrobatics, everyone succeeded. So you know how you were standing on ice a few minutes ago? You're now standing in powder packed snow, which is deeper, and it comes up to just not quite to your knee, but like in that like weird calf area where you kind of have to bound more through the snow than you have to do just walking. And while that is happening, Jane especially, because Goldar is predisposed to hate Red Rangers with a burning passion, you hear Goldar's laugh as they are hovering above the snow, annoyingly enough. And Goldar says, "You Rangers were stupid enough to follow to the North Pole? Not a good choice. You especially should have more sense if you're really the leader, Red Ranger. You're on my turf now. By the morning, Santa and this whole hopeful place will be a dear departed memory. I wish you good luck." Would anyone like to try to shoot at Goldar as Goldar has monologued and is now attempting to get away?
I mean, yeah, I'll try to shoot him.
All right. If you're going to use your Blade Blaster, that is going to be a finesse roll. Please use your Blade Blaster now.
$22.
All right. You beam Goldar with a beam of yellow light, which Goldar was not expecting, and they fall for half a second, which would be hilarious, and you could totally enjoy it, were it not for the fact that the snow is moving around the three of you, and you know how putties are kind of gray? Yeah, now they're made out of snow. Goldar has conjured, with Rita's help, snow putties. And we are going to roll initiative, and you're going to fight the snow putties, and then we are going to take a 10-minute break after the snow putty fight is done. But first, snow putties. We're all excited about this.
Ooh, it rolled initiative for me. Woo! I got a 10.
Yay! Jane got a 10. What did Leah get?
An 18, but it didn't like it because it said I have not chosen a
Don't worry about
there's no
that.
tokens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That
We're not
Yeah,
using that feature.
It's a whole thing. It's
I just wasn't sure
don't
you saw it because of that. So, and it rolled
That's
20.
why I was getting verbal confirmation too, because we use some podcast form, and I'm like, I'm writing. You have to tell me what you got. And is that 17 yours, Eddie?
Eddie got a 17.
Eddie got a 17. All right. Okay, so Eddie, this is new. Oh no, wait. Leah goes first because Leah got an 18. So Leah, so you were in a classroom with a putty.
I was.
And you fought a couple since then. But this is a putty that is now made out of snow, which is different. Yeah.
I feel like it's not as heavy as clay, but I guess it depends on how wet the snow is. I'm gonna kick it in its face. That seems to be the thing that works the best for me.
That is a very applicable thing to do when dealing with I'm going to give you a might roll for this because that is a blunt weapon thing.
13.
13 means you just meet. So you're going to get a very satisfying kind of clean shot at the putty. But unfortunately, as you kind of knock half of its face off, you discover that it's made of snow. And so that 13 was very satisfying, but it just kind of reforms from a different part of its body, which is not as satisfying as you want it to be. And also kind of worrying, Eddy, you definitely just saw a snow putty and then a snow putty reform itself a little bit. Missing a little bit out of the like middle, but it's like still kind of healthy and up.
Is Goldar still nearby, or did he?
No, Goldar and his wounded pride have headed back toward the mansion, as he is wont to do.
At least he wished us good luck.
It was ironic good luck. He doesn't actually want you to have good luck.
Well, too bad. I'm gonna have good luck anyway. Me.
I love that. So you've got 3 snow putties. You can do as you wish to try to do with these snow putties.
I'm just going to. Goodness. I'll just like body check into one of them and see if I can't pull it apart.
Okay, for the actual, because pulling is something, give me a might, because I'm going to say pulling and pushing are twin cousins here. So give me a might roll, and let's see what happens when you try to body this snow putty. You have to get 20.
Yeah, 20.
You go through the snow putty, and it really doesn't have enough of itself to reform. And so it just kind of crumbles and withers, and disconcertingly, the snow where it was standing turns black and then just kind of fades away, which for some reason is creepier than you'd want it to be. Probably because everything else is so pretty and white and silver and blue up here. That black charcoal mess really stands out in a not positive way. But you did it, which is good. Jane, snow putties. It's a real thing that you're dealing with right now.
Awesome. So I am gonna grab my blaster and I'm gonna try to shoot it.
Great. So when you're doing range with your energy weapon, even if you're 5 feet away, unless I specifically say it's going to be a targeting.
Okay.
So yeah, so just target and channel Brick's baseball might and see if that.
Yes, a 20.
Ooh, you got a 20. How are you trying for one? Or are you trying for both of them?
I mean, if they're standing in a line, then yeah, I would like to try to like shoot through one.
They're in like a circle. So it would be really cool, but also really difficult to make that work. So
would a 20 get that though?
I'm not sure how, because it would involve bending laws of physics, and I don't think I'm
fair enough.
Then yeah, Power Rangers can't bend the law of physics. This is not how it works.
True. There are some things that have to be physically capable in the world, even in a world where there's a pig carrying a fork and knife wearing a sentry hat. Yeah, so you blade blast one of the putties down. Jane, it's not cold. It's actually getting it's getting warmer temperature wise for you. It's not painful. You're not like sweating, but you feel warmer a little bit, like in a good way, not like I'm dehydrating or anything. It's a good sort of warmth. It's like, it reminds you of winter holidays by the fire, like either you've seen in a movie or you've experienced in real life. It's very pleasant. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes, and there is one putty left. Leia, it's going to come after you because it is
Sure.
not happy. It's going to scoop a piece of itself out and it's going to throw an ice ball at you because it's a mixture of snow and ice. So
Creepy.
what is your evasion?
My what? My
Your,
evasion?
yes, your evasion score.
15.
15. So it gets a 16. So you take a snow ice ball right in the face.
Of course.
But it is your turn, so you can easily respond to this personal attack on your yellow ranger goodness.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I kind of just want to shoot it in his face because rude.
Yeah, go for it.
So I would be using my thingy that is targeting.
So a blade blaster, if you're using it as the blade, it's finesse. If you're using it as a blaster, it is targeting.
Okay. So I want to use it as a blaster if I can.
Yep. Targeting all the way then.
Alrighty. Why didn't it didn't let me do it?
So, you can always just roll a d20 and then whatever your specialty is on top of it if it doesn't work.
14.
14. That just beats the toughness because their toughness is a 13. So congratulations. The snow putties melt into black charcoal, which is weird and disconcerting. And
It's because they were naughty.
yes, they were. Well, they were naughty, but it's not their fault. And we're going to take a 10-minute break. Remember, while we are on break, you have a great chance to potentially win a Plague Tale Innocence. I think I got that right. Right? That's the name of it. The game code for that, and you can win that by using, I have to look at my script, by using hashtag RunPC for one entry, give us 100 bits for one entry, or subscribe to the channel for 7 entries. We also have the GoFundMe, and if you give to that, you'll get an entry per dollar given that helps us keep going and helps us to get to year 3 to give you more of the goodness. Don't forget when you use the GoFundMe to put in your Twitch handle, or we won't know who to give the entry to. And so we are going to take a 10-minute break, and I'll vamp if I have to. But we'll take. Yeah, I'll give a wave, and we'll see you in 10 minutes. Oh, we're live. We're live on my evil laughter. That's great for me. Welcome back, everyone. So you have just defeated Snow Putties, and you've defeated the evil of nobody entering for our giveaway, because there are many entries now, I'm sure. As you are trudging through the snow, bounding because it's ice and snow together, there is no further sign of Goldar, but there is a shaft of light that comes out of a side door of the mountain that turns out to be Santa Claus's mansion. Does anyone give me an alertness roll to see if they can see the Aurora Borealis? Because I know that was important to some of you before you go inside.
I don't see anything. I got a 7.
You got a 7. I mean, you can't avoid it. Is the Aurora Borealis? It looks pretty to you. You don't have as much expectation. Leah, it doesn't look right. For lack of better terminology, and the only way to kind of explain this is that there's something very pretty and present and ethereal about the Aurora Borealis. This is like if the Aurora Borealis was being taken over by the villains from Captain Planet. It looks polluted, for lack of better terminology. It looks like it's got like spots of like gasoline drying on it. It's actually pretty chilling, no pun intended. I couldn't think of a better word. That literally wasn't me trying to come up with the pun. But it still looks enough like itself. But if there's magic happening here, it's definitely getting bigger than it should be. Yeah, but a side door has opened with a shaft of light, and you can enter the mansion if you so wish.
Hope there's go-go.
All right, you are greeted at the side door by a 2-foot-tall winter classic army-like elf in a white t-shirt and green tights. He actually looks kind of like he came out of a ballet casting call. Their hair is askew, their cheeks are pinched, and a whole lot of nervous energy. They can even barely look at you. I'm Valen. I usually help out with the reindeer, but right now I'm the only one they can't catch. They've got the rest of the elves locked up in the cafeteria, but at least they're safe. You have to get to the toy room. You have to get to the toy room. Follow the primary color gumdrops. Just don't stray from the primary color gumdrops. I can't stress that enough. You don't want to end up anywhere else. And then Valen screams and runs away as a giant teddy bear comes bounding down from the opposite hallway. And this teddy bear, which was once this beautiful auburn red-brown color, now has a face that looks like it wants to devour you after snapping you in two. And so, like, it still looks cuddly about 3/4, but it is kind of lumbering toward you Yeti style, and it's not a cute moment. And we're just going to keep the same initiative. And so, Leia, you can go first. There is a large evil teddy bear, and it is about the size of the hallway, so it's maybe 10 feet tall and kind of hard to get around. You're going to have to knock it down.
I'm gonna flash at its belly with my bladey blaster thingy.
Okay, it is coming to you slower, so that's going to take all your movement, but you'll get there if you're going to slash at it with your dagger portion of your blade blaster.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a finesse.
Okay.
I will also note for you, that did not feel like 30 feet. It definitely felt like it took less time to do that, which
20.
was great. But upon reflection, that happened really quickly. A 20, you give it a good slash, and let me see what kind of health this thing has. Okay, you give it a good slash, it tumbles a little bit, it growls at you, and its growl is soul shuddering. You don't toss the word around demonic lightly, but the noise that it emits makes you think of the Exorcist movie, which is not the noise that a stuffed teddy bear should make in Santa's mansion, mind you. Leia, I also, with that 20, you're going to look down, just because that sound makes you feel uneasy. Your armor has changed slightly. Your boots, they've got like casings around them that are a little chunky. Jane and or Eddy, if you were watching as Leia ran into action, her legs kind of sparked, and it seemed like her boots transformed, and you have gained a power weapon for all of your good work, Katie. You have weighted armor boots. And so when you kick, you're going to get a shift up to your might rolls, especially when you kick. And you don't get like a double speed necessarily, but you can sprint with greater ease, and you don't have to worry about exhaustion as much as other rangers would have to worry about it. So your power weapon are these awesome, powerful boots, essentially.
Works because I like to kick things.
Yes, and Zordon felt that in your energy as he was watching you grow as a ranger.
Yeah, the putties felt it in her energy too.
They definitely did.
Speaking of energy, Eddy, giant demonic teddy bear roaming the gumdrop lanes of Santa's castle.
I'm gonna reach behind and out like nowhere, pull out the big axe and be like, I guess someone's got to put Yogi down. And am I gonna be able to make it to the bear, or is that a little too far for me?
I know that you. It should be fine with your What is your movement? It should be fine with your movement.
Whatever the standard is, because I don't believe I have anything that modifies it.
Yeah, so you'll be fine doing that. I do invite you. I know you don't use it very much, but you do have an energy blaster version of your axe. You could also try throwing your axe if you wanted to.
I could
Your
hit
axe
them
will
with
work.
it.
Yeah.
I'll go with the hitting.
All right. Give me a mighty might swing with Yon axe.
21.
21. That is higher than its 16 toughness. Were you aiming for an arm? Were you aiming for the head? What part of the giant demonic teddy bear were you aiming for?
Midsection. Where I'm going for removing some of that fluff and some of that structural integrity.
Yeah, so you know how teddy bears usually have like white fluffy stuffing? Yeah, this teddy bear's stuffing is stuffing, but it's red. Um and it pours out. Yeah, something's not right here. I can't stress that enough. Um and you're winning, but at what cost is the question. Uh Jane, it is your turn.
I'm horrified by what I am seeing in front of me.
As you should be, but it is not lumbering toward you because it has been stopped by a really great physical attack and a really great axe attack. But you could deal the final blow theoretically.
Yeah, I'm gonna red Tyranno grappler and it's gonna appear in my hands and I'm going to um cross just enough distance so that I can swing at it. I want to swing at its head.
Yeah, with your reach, you don't have to cross any distance because you have 3 times the reach of any
Okay.
weapon.
I'm gonna
Are
call out
you?
duck as I swing so I don't hit my people.
Okay.
Goose.
Oh right, I need to
Yes.
roll, don't I?
Yes, please roll for that with your grappler, your Tyranno grappler.
12?
That were you trying to get it to leave the scene or were you trying to hit it?
I was trying to get it to do whatever a 12 will get me.
It meets but does not exceed anything, and for willpower and cleverness, you'd have to get above that. So, good news. It doesn't seem to affect the teddy bear, but you had asked Zordon about upgrading your power weapon to include the fire element, and because of how unsettling the scene is, your weapon responded, and it is now on fire in your hands.
It's very exciting.
I don't know what that looks like to Eddy, and if you're disconcerted about this, but the grappler is now on, we'll call it holy fire, because I don't know what else to call it.
So exciting. I'm so excited.
What's this grappler look like? Because my brain just keeps imagining it's one of those like extendo arm things. Like the little toy that you gave you at the beach.
I mean, it's not quite that far off. It's like it's long and then it has like a red Tyranno head at the end.
And
Yes.
the head is definitely on fire, so that there are fire teeth. However you take that. So, all celebration aside, Leia, I need you to. Actually, I'm gonna roll this. We're going to detect to the giant angry teddy bear is going to attempt to grapple you because you are the closest.
Great.
Does a 13 meet your toughness?
No.
Okay, well, it's towering over you, but because it towers over you, it miscalculates.
Yeah.
It is like stumbling over you, kind of still trying to do it, but it has more momentum than it has sense. So Leia, you like to punch it or anything? Because we're at the top of the round and it's your turn.
Oh, 100%.
Punch it with your feet.
I'm gonna punch it with my feet. Absolutely.
Okay. That's still going to be a might roll, and don't forget to shift up because of your new awesome power weapon.
So that'd be one of the options as you click through is
Okay.
whether or not you'll get a shift.
Skill shift.
Does a little lightning thing. Yeah, skill shift will just be whatever you have to the next one. So if you have like a D4, then you're going to do it with a D6, if that makes sense.
And the little menu will show the plus ones or the whatever. So
Yeah.
it will help you.
I hope that makes sense.
A 25?
Yeah,
think
so
that
at
might hit?
25, you don't just kick it, you bend it like a Beckham, and that large demonic teddy bear slams into the ceiling.
Yes.
You might want to work on your control just a touch, but it was really cool. And so, you know how those nose putties turned into black charcoal? Yeah. How do you feel about a giant teddy bear all of a sudden turning into black charcoal on the ceiling?
A little bit better than being covered in red, gooey teddy bear innards.
So
Yeah,
concerned about the gravity of it all.
Yeah, the red stuffing doesn't evaporate, so that's still there. But the host of the teddy bear has made black charcoal spots on the ceiling. But the good thing is that the hallway is now free to run down if you wish to run down it.
Start looking for them gumdrops.
Yep. So you come to a crossroads. There are orange gumdrops, there are purple gumdrops, there are green gumdrops, and then there is a continuation of red. Which gumdrop color would you like to follow?
Can you repeat those? I'm sorry.
Orange,
Purple.
purple, green, and red.
Well, it's gonna have to be either red or green because
Say
this is
the-
memories.
Yeah, I'd say the red because
say red,
using
too.
green in combination.
No, green's a primary.
Yellow and blue. Gets
Green's
green.
not a primary. Green's a secondary. I'm just
Yay!
it's 4:35
Yay.
in the morning and I can't do color theory apparently. So
I did a help.
good job.
To help. Okay, trundling down the red gumdrop road and not falling for the trick of the crossway in Santa's mansion of apparent death now. You come to a giant glass door that reads toy shop. Okay, well, maybe it's a glass door. It might actually be a door made out of spun sugar. It definitely looks like spun sugar. Yeah. No, it's glass. But whatever it is, the little elf that looked like Hermie told you to go through the door. So would anyone like to attempt to go through the door?
Right
I'm
through it.
gonna lick the door.
You
Give me a survival roll for licking the door.
I don't actually.
Actually, you
lick the door.
can't. You'd have to take your helmet off, which I would not advise. So we'll just pretend that you didn't do that. But
Okay.
it is glass. If you were to lick it, it would taste like glass.
No.
Which is not
Not
as
like
tasty.
schnozberries.
No, not like that. That's a different movie completely. So it's not locked, but it's not great. So here's where we start on this little rudimentary map I drew so that you can see kind of what it looks like, and I'll explain it to the viewers. I'm not very good at map making, so it's a whole bunch of squares. It's basically this room that's big and rectangular, and it has like these cafeteria style tables that are red, and it has like silver conveyor belts on either side with big hoses that go up in the ceiling and off to wherever they go. And it used to plop down nice, wholesome presents. Finster is on the other side of the room, and Finster is the guy that builds toys and monsters for you to Repulsa. And he sees you and goes, sorry, hope you didn't like Christmas. And then Finster disappears, but leaves in their trail coming down this conveyor belt. Well, it was a Teddy Ruxpin at one point in time. And it was probably a Jack-in-the-Box at one point in time. And it was probably a really cute little dolly at one point in the time. And they're only 2 feet tall, but Their hands are pointy like knives, and they all have really scary faces. So they're tiny, but they're fearsome. Welcome to
Mighty.
Finster's Toy Room of Doom. What would you like to do as you're standing at the entrance to the Toy Room of Doom?
Gonna kick everybody.
Working so far.
You can attempt to rock the lights in the
It's the
room.
thing that's been working the best for me. So why change it
I
now?
will let you know that this toy conveyor belt is not stopping plopping things down. So you will kick, but you could be here a while. Christmas will have ended by the time you're done kicking. Just letting you know. Like, I'll let you do it, but it's just going to be an exhausting exercise for a variety of reasons.
What if I kick the conveyor? Like, what if I kick the thing that's spitting out the demonic toys?
Is there like a lever or something?
There is no lever, sadly. Or if there is, Finster broke it, and it would be on the other side of the room anyways. But if you want to go over and kick the conveyor belt, I am not going to stop
Not
you
the
by any
belt
sense of
itself, but like the thing that spits at things onto the belt.
Give me what would you give me for that?
The toy extruder.
A toy extruder. Give me a athletics to see if you can kind of climb up there to kick it.
Okay.
This is going to be a very high difficulty, so give me that athletics.
14.
That's a 14. You get tackled by one of those creepy Twilight Zone talking Tina dolls that says, "I don't like you," and it tries to claw your helmet off. I'm going to have you do a might roll for a grapple with the tiny talking Tina doll that I'm totally stealing from Twilight Zone. My apologies to Rod Serling and their estate.
Sure, they'll forgive you.
12.
That's a 12. You're going to meet it. It's
a very-
unnerving more than anything because you definitely saw into the soulless eyes of a once lifeless doll. So there was that. You are also now on a conveyor belt, so you are slowly moving throughout the room. But there are going to be more toys joining, so you may not want to be on that conveyor belt very long. Or you may enjoy the conveyor belt. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
I mean, I would probably try to. So, like, is it a conveyor belt with like sides to the conveyor to the belt, or is it just like the whole thing as a belt? Like, is it kind of like a treadmill where it has the things on the side? You can like.
No, there are no OSHA compliant standard railings. This is like the Death Star. There are no OSHA railings on this conveyor belt.
Okay. So she's gonna jump off because she doesn't want to keep moving.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for that. It's you jump off. You're still a little shooken up from the Tina, and there's definitely a come to life Jack in the Box with an unsettling giggling clown that's kind of bouncing your direction. But everybody's dealing with that. Eddie, you remember the Slinky dog from Toy Story? Yeah. So you know how that thing kind of stretched and like wound itself around stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to give me a might check to see how you're dealing with the Slinky dog. Well, not Slinky, because I don't want to piss off Disney, but Slinky character
Do not invoke the
non-dog.
mouse.
Anyway, give me a might roll. That's the moral of the story. Yeah. So
I got a 7 against the spring dog.
Yeah, so Jane, I don't know how else to describe this to you, but you just watched Leia get grappled by a soulless talking doll, and now Eddie is tangled and has tripped into a slinky dog.
I just got him.
There are two marching clowns in Jack in the Boxes making their way towards you, and they are brandishing tiny lollipop knives.
Not to give you anything, now imagine that the slinky portion of this dog is actually just like barbed wire.
It's not there yet, but the next one coming down the conveyor belt will have that. So thank you for that idea. I was just going to leave it like that, but I like your
Well
idea.
done
better,
giving the
so
GM
thank
ideas.
you.
Thanks. Good job.
The first time I did the last time.
I did that this morning in Vampire. It's just
Yeah.
in a day.
Hey, teacher, forgot to assign homework.
Yeah. So I don't know how you feel about clowns, Jane, but
I
these
mean,
could
I
be
still have my
adorable and-
Hey, Jane,
grappler out.
I
and
think
it's still
Santa
on
will
fire?
forgive us. Just light it all on fire.
Burn it down.
This doesn't deserve to be.
The entire mansion has to go. Sorry, Santa.
We can rebuild. We have the technology.
Zordon can rebuild your mansion.
I mean, if you don't save Santa by morning, it won't exist in the morning. So you actually don't. It's made of magic and goodwill. Might I remind you?
Okay.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
I still have my grappler out and it's still on fire.
That's the melting point of goodwill.
We'll get to that later. Right now, demonic toys.
I want to swing it at the clowns to
Great.
kind of just knock it away from me.
I will let you swing at both of them in one mighty swing.
Can I spend an edge point to reroll that, please?
You can spend a story point if you'd like, because
What did I say?
Edge.
you said edge point. I was like, this is not. This is not. This is Shadowrun is the next one coming up.
It was a Shadowrun thing?
Spend edge. But you can totally spend a story point.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's getting to that hour. I'm
What is going
how
on?
Shadowrun is going to be for you. Hey,
What is going on?
Those clowns, they're now on your grappler and they're on fire, which makes it worse for you visually. But they're slowly bounding up your grappler, like you gave them like a little diving board to get to your face. Leah, how do you feel about Rubik's cubes?
I was neutral about them before.
Yeah,
You don't
there's
find
like
them puzzling?
there's like 10 Rubik's cubes that have
so good.
transformed into like bats
Okay.
that are now headed your direction.
Sure.
You should probably do something about the Rubik cube bats.
You have murder Tetris coming for you.
I mean, that's what it is at this point.
Murder Tetris.
Murder
I mean,
Tetris.
how many?
Like half of them are on the ceiling watching what the other half are going to do. So you got five dive bombing in like a little Mighty Ducks V shape.
All right. I mean, she's gonna try to swat them or like catch them maybe and like throw them against the wall.
I'm gonna let you do give me a might. I'll call that kind of a grappling, catching. Yeah, I'll call that a might.
18 critical success.
That is a success. Yeah, I mean they're not animals. They really are Rubik's cubes that have been brought to life for evil purposes. So it's not like it's a Rubik's cube. It literally
Of them.
but they're bats. So yeah, so you catch them and you throw them and they split apart. Then there's five more, but they just seem to be on the ceiling. Eddie, how's it going with the non-Toy Story branded Slinky dog of death that you have discovered delightfully is trying to gnaw off your foot because they have very sharp pointed teeth where there were no sharp pointed teeth before.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get out of this maze of wire.
Might is always going to be grapple. So give me a might roll if you want to release yourself from the grapple of the Slinky.
Yes, I will continue to try to brawn my way out. Hopefully it does better this time. Yay, I got a 20.
Okay. Power armor, no matter how much slinky wire filament tries, it is not power armor. So eventually you just find a stress point and you break it in half, and the slinky dog stops doing anything because it's broken. Yeah. And just in time to watch as Isabitz has two tiny clown jack-in-the-boxes currently springboarding toward her face. Jane, how's it going?
Not
How you doing?
not good. I'm not good.
Yeah, what you want to do about the two boxes of clowns coming at your face?
The
I
Flamethrower.
want
Maybe that
to swing my grappler around and try to like fling them off and up against the wall.
Okay, so swinging something around, I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna have you give me an intimidation roll for this, actually.
20.
Yeah, you swing that around, and I don't know how frustrated you are, but you let out like a Tyrannosaurus roar, shakes the room a little bit, and you send those two clowns flying. I would like anyone who's interested to give me an alertness roll.
Bam, bam, bam.
21.
21 for Jane and 18 for Eddie.
18 for Eddie, 21 for Jane, because 2 out of 3 of you...
Also 21.
Yeah.
For Leah.
There's a tiny door that's on the other side of the room over by where Finster was.
How tiny are we talking? Like, can we get through it?
I don't know. Would you like to approach the door and try?
Sure.
If you get to it and you can't get through the door, don't forget to look for the mushrooms.
Well, like in this case, though, it would be pieces of like cake. In this case, or a little potion to drink.
Speaking of mushrooms, when you try to reach for the door,
Correct.
give me a culture roll, Leah.
You are talking to a girl who has loved Alice in Wonderland as long as she's been alive.
That's good. We'll see what that does for you. The culture roll of your dreams. Or maybe your nightmares.
Possibly both. Oh, sweet Jesus.
I mean, it might actually just be a trick door because you pull the little thing and it just pulls out and then pushes back. Like, it could be a trick door.
Is it like a pinball machine? Was that like the little plunger thing? She just started some mechanism?
I don't know. I don't know. Didn't go well just now.
Speaking of not going well, give me an acrobatics because those other 5 bats have noticed you. By the way,
Sure. Why not?
Earlier, when you said Rubik's Cubes and the bats, I envisioned that all 10 of them were like together in the big bat and we're trying to like.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
next time. Super cool, though. That 13, you avoid most of them. One does land on your head, but it's a Rubik's Cube. So, not a big deal. You're not going to lose damage. They were more fearsome to look at than they were. Would anyone else like to try the door?
I'll try it.
We'll let Jane go first.
All right, give me a culture roll to try the door.
12.
Got a 12. Yeah, you pull it back, and it's not that you're not supposed to be able to open the door. It's not a trick door. It's that it's kind of sealed, for lack of better terminology, by dark magic, and this door should be able to open. Somewhere very important, might I add.
Be another teamwork thing. Last time we had a Bad Mojo door.
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
You want me to roll a culture or?
You don't need to roll a culture now that we've established. Now it's just, what do you want to do to try to open this door?
Okay, so essentially what we did with the last thing was each one of us took a chunk out of it. So I'll try to close the distance and slash at it with the blade blaster knife. Something different than the axe. You're welcome.
All right, use your blade blaster knife and slash at that door with finesse, because that is what the blade blaster knife demands.
Why we don't use the blade blaster knife? I rolled a 6.
Yes, you're still feeling some feelings from the Slinky incident. So
I'm
those
still like
feelings,
wiping
in your way a
red
little bit.
bear fuzz out of my face.
Yeah, it's something like that. So you give it a good college try, but it does not work in your favor, sadly. There is a cackle coming from the other side of that door the longer you're around it. So might be something to get through sooner rather than later.
Can I try to hit it with my grappler?
Always and forever. Roll the grappler and
19?
19. I will give you a hit with the grappler that sends the tiny door off of its hinges. But much like the beloved Willy Wonka movie, the tiny door is an illusion. It's actually the wall that opens up, a la Willy Wonka. Unfortunately, it does not open up into a candy-filled room. What you see is it's a throne room, for lack of better terminology. The floor has this really lovely swirl pattern like a peppermint. There's a beautiful red and white glass chandelier. It's actually the most beautiful chandelier you've ever seen. It's about the same size as the toy room, but it feels more empty because really all there is there's a stage with throne on it to your right. And then I want everyone to give me an alertness roll to see what you notice in the room.
Click.
And while the Rangers are seeing what they notice in the throne room, notice that you could win in a fantastic giveaway. You could win the game code for A Plague Tale: Innocence at the end of this one shot. To enter to win, use the hashtag RunPC for one entry, give us 100 bits for one entry, or subscribe to the channel for 7 entries. If you give to the GoFundMe, which we've been linking all day, you'll get 1 entry per $1, which will help keep us afloat, and we thank you so much. But don't forget to put your Twitch handle in that GoFundMe, or we won't know who to give the entry to. Let's see. Okay, so what did everybody get?
I rolled a 2.
Eddy, Rita is in this room, just so you know. I will explain more later. Leia at 12. The thing that you notice is the floating gem. That's kind of fun. Jane. Santa is in the corner. Well, you think it's Santa. You're not actually sure, but there's no reason to imagine a hefty older person being Santa, but whoever that person is, they are wrapped in a black ribbon, and the black ribbon has the word bad scrawled across it in white. Noticing Rita is standing at the edge of Santa's throne stage area and is kind of holding the gem aloft, but it kind of hovers. It does not actually need Rita to hold it up. There is bad energy in this room. There's not even a roll for it. There's just bad energy. It just hovers and it lets off little sparks of red and white as if on invisible wings. And Rita goes, "Oh, Zordon, such a fool to send Rangers. It's too late. You can't beat me, and even if you try, I've already begun to corrupt the gem of goodwill. Say goodbye to your beloved Christmas." And I need everyone to give me acrobatics because Rita Repulsa is going to start slinging lightning at you.
Lovely. Oh no, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so
We don't
none
want
of you get out of the way and you all end up on the floor. Let's do initiative.
Oh God.
And then you're all just going to have that kind of like it's not a surprise penalty, but yeah, give me initiative and tell me what you got.
I had a 16.
Christ almighty.
Okay, Eddie, what did you get for initiative?
I got a 3.
Fabulous. Leah, what did you get for initiative?
8.
An 8. Okay. Well,
Yes, we are.
that's the thing is that it either gives you red or green. There's no in between color, so it looks very disconcerting.
That's
It's festive though. It is festive. Sadly, it's the wrong kind of festive right now. And Leia, you got an 8. So, Jane, you were just knocked to the floor. Rita is cackling. Give me another acrobatics to see if you can get up, or if you can make a case for another roll for getting up. But you need to get up before you get hit with lightning again.
I'll just roll the acrobatics.
Okay.
I regret my decision.
You get hit with lightning. The great thing about your power armor is it absorbs a lot of it, but the issue is with your power armor is eventually it will run out of the ability to absorb it. So being on the floor is not going to be your friend for very long. Rita's going to go next. Jane, she does not like that you have something that kind of looks like her wand. So she is actually going to target you and throw a bolt of lightning your direction, which is different and kind of more violent. And I am going to roll here. This is going to be against your evasion. What is your evasion?
13. Oh no.
So that's an 18. So good news. In the in the system of Essence 20, there's no like damage calculator, so you can only really get hit with 1 point of damage at a time. And you only go unconscious, but you have lost 1 health now, which is not ideal, obviously.
when can I use free actions?
You can use X. The only one that you can use outside of your turn is if you declare the contingency if then.
Okay.
And you have to declare that on your turn to use after that turn, essentially. But if you think of something, I'm all for it. Next person to go is Leia. So Leia, you have been sent to the floor, and you need to make an acrobatics or another type of throw to get up off the floor.
Okay. $11 to get up.
11 to get up. I'm going to say that beats Rita's willpower. That gives you just a little willpower, so I will let you get up.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in this game, once you come out of prone, that kind of ends your turn. But if you want to try like an intimidation thing that you want to yell at Rita, I will totally let you attempt something like
Yeah,
that.
I was
You just can't
about,
move.
yeah, no, I actually wanted to yell at her and just say something like, it's not bad or good, it's naughty or nice. Get it together.
All right. I want you to roll for that, which was fabulous. Let me see my skills specializations. I want you to roll persuasion for that because that is a truth.
Okay. 15?
15 will get it. It's Rita Repulsa, so she's kind of heard that. She just cackles at you, but the cackling is a little unsure. Not enough to do damage, but she heard you. Unfortunately, now you are also on Rita Repulsa's radar, which, as far as anyone knows, is the most evil villain in the universe currently. So that's something to be aware of. She doesn't know where you're from, which is good, but also Stone Canyon has seen an uptick of Rita Repulsa shenanigans in very recent times. So yeah, that's something to think about. Eddy, it is your turn. You have been felled by lightning. How would you like to get up using acrobatics or some other way?
What other way would there really be? Like,
I was giving you an opportunity if you had thought of a different
okay,
way.
I really haven't, so I guess I'll just go with acrobatics.
We'll go with acrobatics to get out of the prone position. You got a 9, which is not enough. You kind of stumble up to your knees, but that still would mean you'd have to kind of stumble up fully next turn unless you can convince me of something else.
Would I be able to? Would I be able to use this on Jane, my helping hand?
You can definitely use that. You haven't used any of your personal powers, so you can definitely do that.
So I basically don't quite get up. I get up kind of partially and try to I reach out to Jane and essentially extend some of my goodwill and spend a personal power point to heal her 1 point, right?
Yeah, there's no verbal component to it's essentially a spell, but would you like to actually physically say anything? Or do you just want Jane to have the good feeling of being healed? Up to you.
We'll go with the latter because I'm not thinking of anything clever.
Okay, that's fine. Jane, you feel better for some reason all of a sudden? I mean, don't look Give Taurus in the mouth. This isn't the time. The most evil villain in the universe is currently corrupting the gem of goodwill. So, Jane, we are back at the top of initiative, and you have the highest roll. What do you want to do?
I want to try to get up.
So acrobatics, that's the first thing to be done.
Okay. $15.
You are up. That is one hurdle down.
So I know that I can't attack, but can I use the alternate effect on my grappler, intimidating, to try to scare Rita Repulsa away?
You can always try. Use it. It's a higher difficulty because it's Rita, but use it like you would normally use it with might, and then we'll just use the alternate effect on it with that
Okay.
roll.
So it says once per encounter, I can choose an enemy. I can choose to make an enemy roll willpower to scare them off the field if their roll is lower than my willpower. Will that not work on her?
That will work on her, but it's a weird higher difficulty because it's Rita, and I basically had to make her stats from scratch.
Okay.
But she has a very high willpower because nothing actually really scares her. So I'm just gonna.
She just has to roll less than my willpower, though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll 2d20, and it's gonna be kind of with basically essentially with an edge. So I'm gonna give her the 16. So is 16 higher?
1 point higher.
She kind of focuses on you and goes, "Oh yes, a Red Ranger, such a classic Zordon tactic. What are you gonna do? Scare me?"
Rawr.
That's adorable. Too bad he's sending you into the meat grinder. Let me show you what a real roar sounds like. And there's going to be a lightning bolt coming at you from Rita Repulsa.
So rude.
It's true. But consistently rude, so. That's an 8, so it does miss you, which is nice, which is a nice reprieve. Leia, it is your turn.
All right, so she wants to take a run at Rita and try to kick her.
Great, I love that. So Rita is not on the ground floor, so it's going to be an acrobatics before you can do the mic, because they got to
Okay.
make sure that you can actually get up to the stage to kick.
Over to your new shoes.
With my new shoes. Yeah. Oh,
With
yeah.
your
Thank you.
Power boots.
Thank you.
Give me that acrobatics.
So then we're looking at ooh, 29.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that, and then I'm going to let you do this kick with an edge, so it's like advantage.
Cool.
So give me your might with an edge to see just how powerful this kick is.
Do I also do the boot thing?
That boot's not attached. I just like wrote that in, so it's not actually attached to a skill. So just do the might with an edge.
Okay.
Just wrote it in so that we could both remember what it was.
14
is
not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah.
But you've just got up into the most evil empress's face, so that is something.
Leah doesn't know a lot better.
We're showing a lot of spirit.
You
Yeah.
are showing a lot of spirit, a lot of Christmas spirit, if you will. Eddy, it is your turn.
I'm going to attempt to get to my feet still, as I'd imagine I still need to do so, yeah?
Yes, you were like on your knees, so you're about halfway there. Yeah. You do have story points if you'd like to re-roll.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give it a shot on this one.
Because you can roll a story point every scene, so now's a good time.
Better than that. Yay, better than that.
That's up.
Got a 20.
You are up on your feet with that 20. And that was a really cool thing that Leia just did, and you've killed Jane. Jane, we are back to the top of the round. With you, you have tried to intimidate Rita to no dice. What would you like to do?
I wanted to. If I wanted to get close enough to be able to go low and swing my grappler to try to trip her,
Okay.
would I be able to get that far in this round or no?
I think you can, because the combat option besides fighting is going to be called the hide mechanic. So I want you to roll me an infiltration. And basically, then I'm going to roll Rita's alertness. And whatever gets the higher roll is how well you hide.
19?
So a 19, and Rita doesn't have any skill in alertness. I don't know why. This is a straight D20. So 3. So you actually, there's not like an edge alcove for the stage, but it's just out of her line of sight because she doesn't like looking down, oddly enough. And you'll get to swing next round, but you're under there, and she's not gonna see if she does any lightning things.
Okay.
So, speaking of lightning things, Leia, you know how you're super close to
Yeah.
Rita right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a might thing, and it's going to be versus your toughness, not your evasion, which may actually work in your favor because it's not targeting because you're right there. You're within 5 feet.
Right. I have a bad feeling about this one though.
Remember, your power armor adds to your toughness, and it doesn't always add it to your it doesn't actually always add it to the number.
Yeah, you have to.
When
You
you
just have to
equip your
remember
armor.
when you're morphed, you get a +1 with because you have light armor.
Okay.
Yeah. She
So
got a 15.
so my toughness is a 14, so 15 would be a +1, so it'd be
It's a
15.
+1. I can't remember which it favors, but we'll say it favors you at the moment in that you feel it, but it doesn't it doesn't send you to the ground. So like you just
Okay.
meet it where it is. And you hear Rita curse in an alien language. Because she didn't like that you got electrocuted, but then nothing happened to you. She's very annoyed by that. But you get a response because now it is your turn.
Yeah. Try to kick her in the well, I'm trying to like kick her in the chest to like send her back.
Okay, so you're gonna have to get up on the stage if you want to.
I thought I
do
was already
that.
there.
Are you? So you stayed on the stage? You didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's fine. So yeah, give me that might.
One second.
Hold for applause.
$23.
Great. That 23, you kick Rita Repulsa. Rita is very solid, more solid than a human definitely should be. So she does take the kick, and is not happy to have been kicked. And she goes, "You dare?" And Eddie, you hear the screech of "You dare" as Leia has kicked Rita Repulsa.
How many free actions do we get in the turn? Only the one?
You get one after you move. If you don't move, you technically get two, but there aren't as many like free action options in this as like put in a
What I want to
passcode,
do
unlock a door.
is, because what I would like to do is I'm going to use the mini cannon feature of my axe, but I would like to try to aim my attack before I go. As far as I understand, during a combat scene, if the combatant does not move and spends a free action to aim the range, they get a +1 shift for each free action spent.
Yeah. So I'll let you do that targeting with the shift up of 1. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Then
That's one fluid movement because even though you don't use the energy cannon on your weapon often, it's still very much there for whenever you want it. So
All right, we'll give that a shot to see whether or not can get anything out of it. I got a 17.
a 17 is higher than Rita's evasion. Were you just aiming for like Rita's torso?
Yeah, it's center
Or
mass.
pointed
Nothing special.
Nothing special. It does hit, and that is going to be a damage. Rita is at half health currently. Good job, Beatrice. And just to build suspense, while Rita is at half health, I would like this opportunity to take another 5-minute break to give the good folks a chance to enter our fabulous contest for the game of A Plague Tale Innocence Sent in France in a very harrowing RPG style. And of course, you can enter to win using the hashtag RunPC for 1 entry, give us 100 bits for 1 entry, or subscribe to the channel for 7 entries. There is a GoFundMe, and if you enter, you get an entry per $1, and don't forget to put your Twitch handle in, or we won't know who to give the entry to. And just a 5-minute break that the GM definitely needs, and so we will see you in 5 minutes to finish off Rita Repulsa is the hope and the goal. All right, we are back. Christmas bells are ringing, and Rita Repulsa's bell is now half rung. Rangers, you're doing very well against the evil empress of the universe who wishes to conquer all. And right now it is Jane's turn. You are hidden, so Rita does not see you. Would you like to swing your grappler?
I would, but I have a question. At the end of our last recording, I leveled up to level 4 and I got a perk.
Yes.
For my defender perk, is that something that I would do instead of attacking, or is that like a free action?
Let me check the big book before I give you an answer that may or may not be incorrect, because I have it on that page, so it happens. So you so this is if a creature hits an adjacent ally with a melee attack. So it happens in response to something.
Okay.
So it would not apply to this situation.
Okay. That's what I
because
wanted
the
to check.
idea is that you're going to cause the attack to miss using the defender.
Okay. So if she tried to melee attack Leah, I could do that.
You could use your defender perk. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would like to swing. That is still a finesse roll, correct?
Whatever you use for your grappler is what I'm going to have you roll.
I'm gonna swing at her ankles to try to trip her.
Sadly, I cannot give you like a rogue shadow thing. It's just a straight roll.
15?
A 15.
No sneak attack in this game?
There is no sneak attack in this game. Hide is as close as you get. Sadly, her evasion is 16, so you just misalign it a little bit. She's not looking down, so you can choose to not come out of hiding because she hasn't seen you. But yeah, you need to get a 16 or higher for that. But it was a good try.
I'm gonna stay in hiding then.
Yes, it was definitely more than some people do. Leia, because you are right there, Rita is still focusing all of their anger on you, and they are going to try to kick you back.
Great.
Does that count as a melee?
I think this would.
It's a might because it's a blunt weapon. So that's an 18. What is your toughness?
I think she was asking when that she can use her defender on it.
That hits me.
Okay. Oh yeah, you could use your defender on that. Yeah.
Okay. So I roll my skill dice. So is that going to be my finesse because it's a finesse-based weapon?
Your finesse, yes.
Yes, that is going to be your finesse. This is where we're getting real. We're getting to the rules
20?
tonight on our overnight Realm Alternatives Power Ranger stream.
20?
Okay.
Well, that's because you're throwing Rita at us, man.
Yeah. Well, of course. Who else would go after these hands of Rita Repulsa? So that 20 means that
It lowers the opponent's skill test.
Lower my opponent's skill test. So I'm going to re-roll that might, but instead of doing it at at a D8. It gets re-rolled at, I'm gonna say a D. I'm gonna have, because the 20 is pretty impressive, so I'm actually gonna roll it at a D4. A 16 on that. And how does that meet your toughness, Leah?
Sorry, I
Leah,
did not hear my name, and I got distracted. I apologize.
that's fine. What is your toughness?
Toughness is 14, so yeah, 16 beats me.
16 beats that. You go flying off the stage. Rita Repulsa is wearing heels, and yet definitely kicks like she just got done playing in a at par FIFA soccer league.
Great.
Not enough to cause like an extreme amount of damage. You're not going to lose a point of health yet, but you were surprised by that.
Yeah.
That was a surprising thing to have lived through and experienced. Most people usually die, so she's also kind of surprised that you didn't just die automatically from the kick. Eddy, you still have Rita in your sights technically.
I do. Trying to close the distance on her, I'd have to do like acrobatic silliness. I'm going to stick with.
You're using targeting. You don't really have to move from where you are.
Well, yeah, I don't. If I stick with the blaster, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same aiming type shtick as I did last time. Essentially, not even move from where I'm at.
Yeah, that's perfectly valid. I mean, I don't have a tree for you to hide behind like brick, but yeah, throw your energy beam.
Only rolled a 10 this time.
Only rolled a 10. That is not enough.
Just shining some flashing lights at her, maybe get her attention.
You now have Rita's attention because now Leia's no longer on the stage, so that may not work out well for you, Black Ranger.
I'll be fine.
Jane, you're still hidden, so anything is possible right now.
I'm gonna try to trip her again.
Please do.
18?
18 is enough. You managed to trip Rita Repulsa. Rita did not like that. Rita is going to try to grapple you with lightning in response because they have next on the roll.
Oh, Eddie's so easily forgotten.
It's true, but you also didn't just trip Rita Repulsa. She took great umbrage with being tripped. But in the haste to trip, in the haste to do lightning, she assumes she's more powerful than she is in one way, because she assumes you've had enough lightning in your suit that she doesn't have to like do full force anymore. And so that 6 means that you're not grappled by Rita, but like she's right up in your face.
She's in your grill, dog.
She is all up in your grill. At least you're not getting your helmet gnawed on by a baboon spider creature. So small gifts. Leia, you were flung across the room.
Nice. Can I just shoot her with my blaster?
You can always try. Shooting with your blade blaster as targeting is a finesse. So, no, it's targeting when it's targeting. Yeah, use targeting, please.
Okay. Why didn't that go through? Well done, sheet. Well done.
Sometimes it just doesn't, and you have
It
to.
doesn't like me when I'm not using one that doesn't have specialization. It's weird.
It's building the suspense.
It is.
So that's not going to do anything.
Do you have targeting? Do you have a D2 or a D4, whatever targeting?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that 7 is not even going to distract Rita. In fact, it gives you enough time to assess, hey, there is an old dude wrapped in black ribbon in the corner still.
That's right.
So that's a thing that's also currently in the room
Forgot about him.
that you're in. Eddie, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Because I too also forgot about the possible festive man in the corner. Jane's got this, at least for a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm going to
It's like the cactus all over again, Jane.
cactus?
Yeah,
Oh,
with the
you were-
fire truck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was on
Yeah.
there for that one?
They have to tell you about that later, but yeah.
Well, a story for another time.
Story for another
I'll
time.
run over to the festive man and try to cover as much ground as I can. And if I have any ability to take action once I get there, start cutting them out of the binds if I can.
I will let you take that action because it's Christmas somewhere.
In
How
our
would
hearts.
How would you like to, yes, like the Faith Hill song, how would you like to try to deal with this ribbon?
So I have a big axe in my hand. I'm going to kind of like grab it by the what is it, like choking up on it, basically grabbing it back, just kind of using it a little bit like a saw, hopefully in a spot that's not going to hurt.
Give me a finesse roll. Bearing in mind I haven't outright said this is Santa, but you are hopefully not going to vivisect Santa.
Hopefully. That
Not what I
would put
imagined.
that put a real damper on
Couple
my
of
day.
good, don't fail on this one. Oh,
21.
Great. So you well, it was working, and then it was very much not working. It seems like as you cut it, the ribbon reforms and snake, and it goes from being naughty to very naughty. Um, and Santa gives like a groggy "Help me" from within, and he sounds very old and very tired.
I'm going to shout out, quick, somebody get the milk and cookies. That's all I got.
Leia, you haven't had a lot of practice with this, but you actually hear that in your helmet. The longer you're with the Angel Grove Rangers, the more stuff from the Angel Grove Rangers that the Stone Canyon Rangers may or may not do, you're finding out about, such as the option to talk to each other in your helmets.
Oh.
Jane, you also hear that. I don't know if you want to do anything with the "we need milk and cookies" information you just received.
Is it my turn?
It is currently your turn.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna try to keep Rita busy while they deal with that.
How would you like to keep Rita Repulsa busy?
Is is Rita still on the floor?
I will say yes, because I can't remember, because it's currently whatever time it is. So yes, I will say yes.
It's very early o'clock.
Yeah.
My grappler catches fire again.
It never wasn't on fire. It's now just going to
Okay.
be on fire when you call it forth.
Okay. She's up, right? Because I was underneath.
Yes, she is up.
Would I still be able to like come out a little bit and then like swing and hit her?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, swing to hit. Swing, batter, batter, swing. As they say
13.
immortally. A 13 is not going to do it badly.
That's all right. It'll still
I will
irritate.
actually give you, because her willpower isn't as high. I will give you that you did scare her a little bit because you had the audacity to approach the Empress of the Universe. So
But
she
a
is
flaming dino grappler.
She is going to try to do the lightning grapple again to you, but not from a position of power. So I'm going to do it with a snag. if it will let me do it. Even with the snag, that is a 15. What is your toughness, Jane?
My toughness with my power armor on is 15.
Okay. Because she is closer to prone than you are, I will say that got very scary for a second, but at the last second, you just moved to the right direction, which is very fortunate for you because once Rita has you in her clutches, she could have teleported with you, which is not something you should think about too hard. Leia, it is your turn.
Okay. So where's Power Gem at this point?
It's just chilling where it's been, floating. Give me an alertness roll. Oh,
14?
there it is. 14. So when you looked at the Aurora Borealis earlier when you were outside,
Yeah.
you can actually see it from the clear glass dome the chandelier is hanging from. And the power of the gem is filtered through the Aurora Borealis. So the thing that is poisoning it currently is this currently poisoned gem of goodwill.
So I'm gonna try to grab it and
Sure.
take it over maybe to Santa and see if maybe that'll help.
You can totally grab for it. I want you to give me an infiltration roll.
Okay. Ugh, 10.
It wasn't a high difficulty, so 10 will give it to you. It doesn't shock you. It doesn't disobey you. It goes with you, and it just kind of hovers in your hand. One half of it is this like beautiful ruby red color. It gives you like that feeling of wonder that you had the first time you watched Wizard of Oz from MGM and Dorothy got the killer red pumps. But the other side is black as death. It's onyx black. It's actually kind of lost some of the facets of diamond shape that it had. It's almost like it's wilting in on itself. And you don't want to look at that side anymore because, like, looking at that side depresses you to a point where you feel like if you look at it too much longer, you might actually demorph. So you kind of have to turn away from that side.
Okay.
But you get it over to Santa. The unfortunate thing is that Santa is still wrapped up and not respond to having the gem near him. But the gem is not with Rita now, which is, one thing down, I guess.
Okay. Because so I thought like when he slashed at the ribbon, it like cut open the ribbon.
The ribbon refixed itself basically.
Oh, I see.
I didn't make any positive progress.
Okay.
No
Sorry.
positive progress, but it is positively your turn, Eddy Thatch.
All right, I tried the brute force method. I'm really kind of out of ideas here.
I mean, it's a naughty
just
ribbon.
untie it.
So in theory, if you were nice, something could potentially happen.
Tickle?
I mean, anything is worth a shot if you would like to try to tickle this.
I'll try to tickle the ribbon off.
I will not stop you. The roll for that is I'm going to have you roll me animal handling for that because that has a calming mechanism.
Oh boy.
Roll me animal handling to tickle the ribbon that is currently bound to Santa. Because why not? That's the time we're at in the show, folks.
I got a 10.
So I will give this to you with the 10. It relaxes a little bit. Santa is groggy, but Santa is not comatose, but Santa is also not necessarily helpful in this moment. We're going to come back to Jane while the Santa predicament unfolds in the corner. Jane, you almost got grappled for a second time by the evil empress of the universe, a self-inflicted title, might I add. Now is the time to do something amazing, hopefully, and rid the North Pole of Rita is the hope.
You're muted, Jay.
So I don't.
No,
think
I just
you
haven't
did,
said
like,
anything.
Oh, okay.
If I wanted to get up there and then like with my grappler,
Sure.
would I be able to do that in one go?
Because we're getting down to the last, 23 minutes. I'm going to let you attempt this with a double roll. So I think I'm probably out of bounds with the rules, but who cares? We're having fun. I want you to do an athletics first, and we'll see about getting you up there. It's not a high difficulty. And then after that, if you succeed that, we'll let you use your power weapon.
20?
20 gets you up there pretty well.
Okay.
And so now you can try to use your alternate effects and your kind of psychic stuff, or you could go with straight fire grappler. Whatever you like.
I want to try to bring my grappler down on her stomach and like hit her with it.
Great. Give me. What do I want for this? That's so fun to think about. Actually, give me a finesse because I think that's kind of a martial arts move. So give me a finesse for that. Slightly unconventional, but not incredibly unconventional use.
Is this a different scene from the toy storeroom?
This is a different scene from the toy storeroom. Yes.
Can I re-roll that?
You can reroll that. I would encourage you to, in fact. Because Rita goes next. And Rita's,
Are you
well, I guess
kidding
it was
me?
meant to be with the 3.
Isn't that the third time since the streamathon started that you've used a story point?
Yeah.
So you better hope I don't succeed on this grapple roll because Rita's not grappling you. Rita's grappling your power weapon. So,
Please roll badly.
yeah.
What happens if we spend story points on someone else's action? Or is that even an option?
That's not really an option.
Fair. Carry on then.
That's a 19. So, good news, bad news. When Rita tries and succeeds to grapple your power weapon, she doesn't hold on to it. Good news. She doesn't take it. Good news. Bad news. It disappears. So, like, you're no longer holding it. Which is not. I mean, worse things could happen, definitely. But that's not advantageous to your current position in time. It's also not your turn now, so you can just think, oh no, what's going to happen next? Leah, it is your turn.
So I'm going to attempt to untie the ribbon around Santa.
Great. Give me an infiltration roll.
Okay. See if it goes better this time. $17.
17. You managed to untie the old man, who is Santa for sure. But Santa is still kind of like out of it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Rita's in the room, he can't seem to focus.
Mm-hmm. What if we put his like hand on the red part of the gem? Does that help?
He makes a soft ho 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 noise and then he starts crying.
Oh no.
That's right. Don't think about it too hard, but you made Santa cry.
I'm making everybody cry today, apparently.
True. Eddy, good news, bad news, good news, bad news, good news, bad news. It's like an SNL skit. Good news, Santa's untied. Bad news, apparently Santa's in cognitive decline. What would you like to do? I'm probably getting no presents this year for that. I'm being way too sassy.
So, the general vibe we got is that we've got to get him away from her.
Getting Rita out of the North Pole would be the ideal situation at this moment.
All right.
I'm not going to.
In that case, I'm just gonna.
Jane's power weapon just disappeared. So
Yeah, at that point, I'm just gonna say like, you got him, and I'm gonna go charge at her the best of my ability. Yeah, close as much of the distance as you'll allow me to, and make an axe attack if I'm able to.
You can do targeting. Targeting will get you because you can do your movement, but you wouldn't really be able to swing it to hit her because it doesn't have the reach that Jane's grappler does.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either use the energy cannon function, or you can throw the axe Thor style.
What would the Thor style action require?
Yeah, give me a targeting Thor
Still
style.
targeting? Yeah. No aim on this one, so the likelihood. Got a 16, which
that actually works. You catch Rita like in the back of her trick knee or whatever, and she like goes down, and she actually turns and hisses at your power weapon, and it reappears in your hand, which is new, unexpected. You're not really sure what to think about that, but you did some damage on Rita.
I am worthy.
One more good thing, and Rita's going to have to flee the scene. So, Jane, you don't have your power weapon right now, but Rita's looking not so hot. So,
is she still on the ground?
She's like in like a weird, not prone but not standing position. It's very much like a legs akimbo, knees out kind of situation. I don't know how else to describe it.
I wanna punch her in her face.
Please give me a might for punching Rita Repulsa in her face.
How very Red Ranger of you.
Oh, please let this roll go well. Are you kidding me?
That is a 7. That is not enough. Rita's going to attempt to punch you in the face. So we'll see how that goes.
Bring it. Oh God, I didn't mean for you to bring it that much.
She's bringing it. It's being rotten.
That hard?
You get punched, and because it's like a thunder punch from her fist, it does crack your visor slightly. It's an aesthetic thing, but Alpha 5 can fix that. And so, Leia, it is your turn. The mission is to get Rita Repulsa out of here in one punch.
I would like to close the distance with my boots and kick her in the face.
Okay, give me that might roll for kicking Rita Repulsa in the face.
I think that might do it.
I feel like a 32 is definitely going to do it for you. Congratulations on that roll, by the way. So that 32, you know how there's a chandelier in the room? It was a chandelier.
Yellow Rangers are zippy. I think you broke the sound barrier zipping over there.
Rita Repulsa into the chandelier in Santa's throne room, and he brought down the chandelier on top of Rita Repulsa. And before she could even like villain monologue at you, she disappears, leaving the chandelier to shatter of its own accord on Santa's peppermint-colored floor. So, good news, bad news. The color starts returning to Santa's jolly face, and Santa seems to kind of come out of stupor. Bad news. Santa says, oh, oh, Jane, Eddy, Leah, you came. You were sent by Zordon. His eyes are so kind. They're so kind, they're entrancing. They remind you of that one family member you always felt safe with or wished you felt safe with, if you didn't have a kind of family member like that. Um, it's like the eyes of someone that just instinctively knows who you are, all the good parts and bad parts of you, and chooses to care for the good parts. Um, Bad news is Santa Claus with, oh, she touched the gem and began the process of corruption. The only way to restore the gem is to bring forth hope into it through touch. Rangers, you must concentrate and say what is in your hearts that will bring hope to your world while you touch it. And then Santa just kind of faints, is the best way to put it. Um, and so, but Santa has given you your instructions in order to uncorrupt the gem of goodwill. You need to touch it and declare what brings you hope. And you can do that like in a circle holding hands. You can do it one at a time. Just everybody needs to do it. So
Same time? Same
Yeah.
time, guys?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I want to be put on the spot. No, I still feel like I'm put on the spot.
I mean, yeah, but everyone is going to have to say out loud what gives them hope. So this is the deep part of this mission.
At 5:55 in the morning.
I mean, yeah, but there must be something deep inside of you that brings you hope. Leah.
That the love of my family and my friends will help to make the world a more beautiful place.
Regardless of what evil's out there that possibly do their own little tests, there's always going to be something out there to fight against it.
And even if we somehow don't always have these abilities, there will always be someone coming up and to continue the mission.
All right. That was great hope for 5 something in the morning. I gotta give that to y'all. Major props. So that hope is definitely enough. The corruption doesn't leave right away as an instant thing. It does take time, but you can definitely see it starting to work its way through. A funny thing about the Gem of Goodwill, it has a lot of power that you did not anticipate, and it starts repairing the room. It helps bring Santa back to life enough that Santa is able to go and get is able to magic in their Santa sack, and it reaches in and pulls out your grappler, and Santa returns your grappler to you
Thanks, Santa.
from wherever it went in whatever happened.
This time it has a bow on it.
Yeah, it has a little bow, but the bow is not on fire, but it is still on fire, by the way.
But it's like on the top of the T-Rex's head, kind of like a little hair ribbon.
Yes. 2 little ones for eyeballs, actually. And so it's a really lovely way to end in having saved Santa. Apparently there is no Mrs. Claus. That was just a lot of propaganda. The Gem of Goodwill is kind of like a solo person thing, and then they decide how much they want to do the like traditional Santa gift giving. But really it's about looking for this Gem of Goodwill. As you leave, Leia, the Aurora Borealis has kind of returned to kind of what people envision the Aurora Borealis to look like. There's still some pollution to come out of it, but it's slowly dissipating. And as a bonus, when you get back to Angel Grove, people are still celebrating Christmas way too early, but no trees are going to attack you now, which is super nice. And for Christmas this year, because you were so good and you rescued Santa, the things that you talked about always wanting will be underneath your tree in some form, shape, or fashion. They may not be exactly what you want, but they'll be exactly what you need.
I'm gonna go back to the shop and get the Charlie Brown tree for
Yeah,
Eddie's juice bar.
you can totally. There is a section of ornaments that feature sports. So if you want to get Brick a baseball, you totally can do that. So yes, that was the Christmas in Angel Grove Saving Santa stream. I want to thank Leia from the Stone Canyon for swinging by to help save Christmas with your new awesome power weapon boots. And I hope everyone had a good time. The Essence 20 system is a little different from D&D, as you saw. It doesn't have a damage counter. Infiltration has a kind of specific mechanic roll set. So it's one of the things I love about being part of Realm Alternus is getting to explore and play in these different worlds, because they let me do Power Rangers stuff. They gave me free reign to do a Realm Alternus After Dark stream, which was really cool and probably shouldn't have happened. So what do you think, y'all? Should I do like a line of like demonic toys for all of the Power Ranger streams?
How about no?
No?
No.
All right, no.
Okay,
All
it'd be
right, I
fun.
heard one no. No, but it was a lot of fun. I had a good time. So what's going to happen with the drawing is there's going to be 2 prizes next stream. Because no overnight drawing, we have a little bit more liberty. So we're going to transfer and give people another chance to potentially win it, unless we have an entry drawing winner in this stream. Because what's coming up is, all right, so for all of you folks that love Shadowrun and are sticking around for Shadowrun, which you might see a familiar face in, I believe Isabitz, you're doing the Shadowrun stream.
I am.
There are going to be 2 prizes. So there'll be 2 lucky winners in that stream. And I should probably inform them of that when we're done. But yeah, so stick around. What is happening upcoming is we have Shadowrun coming up, I believe jammed by Ava, who does so much of everything around here. After that, we have thirsty sword lesbians, sexy sword lesbians,
Thirsty.
something about lesbians.
It was thirsty.
It's thirsty. It might also be sexy, I don't know, but a whole bunch of lesbians with swords. And that's coming up after Shadowrun. And then after that, when we're into the official tail end of the morning, into the afternoon, we have a 2-episode spectacular of 7th Sea 2nd edition, which is Pirates and Sorcery and Grand Adventure. It'll be like Our Flag Means Death.
I'll be in that one, assuming that I wake up.
Assuming that you wake up. We'll see what happens. And I think we're actually out of time because I started my counter late, so I don't want to ramble on. But I'll be back later myself for Like Clockwork. And much like Clockwork, it is time to end this stream just on time, hopefully. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and stay tuned for Shadowrun. Bye!